In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on September 24th, 2022, and providing you with team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Indiana versus Cincinnati. The Indiana Hoosiers are on the road this Saturday to play against the Cincinnati Bearcats. Indiana defeated Western Kentucky last Saturday 33-30, but displayed a weakness against the pass. Cincinnati defeated Miami 38-17 for its second consecutive win after opening with a loss. Cincinnati's defense was once again in fine form, allowing just 183 yards of total offense to the Redhawks and only 13 first downs. The Hoosiers are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 road games and 3-13 against the spread in their last 16 games overall. The Bearcats are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 home games and 6-1 against the spread versus a team with a winning record. The over is 4-1 in Hoosiers' last 5 games overall. The over is 3-1 in Bearcats' last 5 games overall. Cincinnati will be too much for Indiana to stop on both sides of the lines of scrimmage. Cincinnati is scoring an average of 42 points per game, which is 36th in the nation. Indiana is allowing an average of 24 points per game, and the Hoosiers are scoring an average of only 30 points per game, but will face a Cincinnati Bearcats defense that is allowing an average of only 19 points per game. Indiana's strength is its passing game, but will face a Cincinnati defense that is allowing an average of only 150 yards per game through the air. Indiana has failed to cover the spread in each of the last 4 games outside the Big Ten Conference. Cincinnati has covered the spread in 6 of the last 7 against a team with a winning record. Cincinnati's Ben Bryant has thrown 7 touchdown passes with only 2 interceptions, and the Bearcats' running game is averaging 5 yards per carry. So the Cincinnati Bearcats to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both of these teams are in the top 25 in passing yards per game. The glaring difference is that the Bearcats have allowed the 11th fewest passing yards, and Indiana has given up a lot of yardage by air and land and are 118th overall in total yardage allowed. The Hoosiers only rushed for 32 yards when they played Illinois this season, which will put a lot on Bazelak, and I don't see him lighting up this tough Bearcats defense. On the other side, although the Bearcats will have offensive success, I expect them to control the ball and not put up any crazy numbers, as they are efficient but not highly explosive. I expect a 31-17 type final score in this one. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Middle Tennessee versus Miami, Florida. The Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders and the Miami Hurricanes meet Saturday in college football action from Hard Rock Stadium. The Blue Raiders just finished up a game versus Tennessee State back on Saturday. Middle Tennessee ended up taking a blowout victory there. As for Miami, they're coming off a matchup against Texas Agricultural and Mechanical. In that one, the Hurricanes lost by 8 points. Middle Tennessee got off to a rough start in their opener. The Blue Raiders gave up 21 points in the second quarter alone in a 44-7 loss to James Madison. Game 2 against Colorado State went much better for the Raiders. However, they would go on to a 34-19 victory. In Game 3 versus Tennessee State, Middle Tennessee didn't have a ton of trouble, scoring 42 points in the first half on the way to a 49-6 blowout victory. QB Chase Cunningham finished on 216 yards and 2 scores, while Frank Peasant rushed 13 times for 122 yards and 3 touchdowns. Over on the Miami side, they got right down to business in their 2022 opener versus Bethune-Cookman, drilling the Wildcats for a 70-13 blowout win. Miami's matchup against Southern Miss was another big victory. This time a 30-7 result to move the team to 2-0. Back on Saturday against Texas, the Hurricanes were held to a trio of field goals and couldn't find much room in a 17-9 loss. Tyler Van Dyke posted 217 pass yards, while Henry Parrish led the rush with 85 yards. Will Mallory topped the receivers with 56 yards from 6 grabs. The Raiders are 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 overall and 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 non-conference games. Middle Tennessee is 2-5 against the the spread in the last 7 versus the Atlantic Coast Conference. Meanwhile, the Hurricanes are 4-9 against the spread in their last 13 at home and 3-9 against the spread in their last 12 non-conference games. Miami is 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 in September. The Hurricanes had the misfortune of going up against a pretty darn good Texas agricultural and mechanical team over the weekend, and though their stats weren't bad, Miami couldn't capitalize on any opportunities. As for Middle Tennessee, they probably looked a little better facing a not-so-good Tennessee State team, but all things considered, they're still having a solid campaign so far. I think Middle Tennessee is just a bit too overmatched in this one. However, I like the Hurricanes to bounce back in this one, so the Miami Hurricanes to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Tulsa versus Ole Miss. The Tulsa Golden Hurricane face a tough battle Saturday on the road in University, Mississippi when facing the number 16 ranked Ole Miss Rebels. Tulsa won its second straight after defeating the Jacksonville State Gamecocks 54-17 on Saturday. Tulsa gained 621 yards of total offense in the lopsided win. Ole Miss kept its early season record perfect with a 42-0 rout of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Ole Miss gained 547 yards of total offense and held Georgia Tech to 214 yards of total offense. Tulsa is 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 games following a straight-up win and 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 games following an against the spread win, while the over is 5-0-1 in their last 6 games in September. Ole Miss is 7-2-1 against the spread in their last 10 non-conference games and 11-4-1 against the spread in their last 15 games against a team with a winning record, while the over is 5-0-1 in their last 6 games in September. The Ole Miss offense is putting up plenty of points on the board, averaging 43 points per game, and is gaining an average of 496.7 yards per game. The running attack will expose a weak Tulsa defense against the run. Ole Miss averages 271.7 yards per game on the ground, and Tulsa is allowing an average of 159 yards per game rushing. The Ole Miss defense will have something to say about Tulsa's strong offense, as the Rebels are allowing an average of only 4.3 points and 264.3 yards per game. Ole Miss has scored 12 rushing touchdowns, and the Rebels have 2 players that have already combined to rush for 606 yards with 6 touchdowns. Ole Miss has covered the spread in 7 of its last 10 versus a non-Southeastern Conference team, and the Rebels have covered the spread in 11 of the last 15 when facing a team with a winning record. So the Ole Miss Rebels to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Ole Miss certainly scores its share of points, averaging 43 points per game, but the Rebels' defense will dictate the scoring in this game, as Ole Miss allows an average of just 4.3 points per game. The total has finished under in 6 of the last 7 games that Ole Miss has played at home, and in 4 of the last 5 games that the Rebels have played against a non-Southeastern Conference team. Tulsa has a strong offense, but the Golden Hurricane have not faced a defense like that of Ole Miss, which is allowing an average of only 192.7 yards through the air, which is Tulsa's strength. As I've mentioned earlier, the Rebels' rushing offense has been outstanding so far, but the Golden Hurricanes' run D has done a good job too, allowing 3.8 yards per carry. On the other side, Tulsa will struggle to move the ball against Ole Miss. Ole Miss has allowed a paltry 13 points over its first 3 games in 2022. The total has gone under in 10 of the Rebels' last 11 games at any location. Also, the under is 5-1 in their previous 6 showings at home. On the flip side, the over is 5-1 in the Hurricanes' last 6 games overall, but none of their last 8 showings as double-digit underdogs has produced more than 65 points in total. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.